I don't know about you, but my carb and gluten count are increasing by the day. So I wanted to share some gluten-free bread recipes that give you cleaner bread options, and I even have a low-carb recipe as well. I've partnered with Bob's Red Mill to make this episode possible, and I've gotta say, their products have changed my life. I've shared them with you before. Bob's Red Mill offers the largest lines of organic whole grain foods in the country, and all of their products are certified kosher and made with non-GMO seeds. They're an employee-owned company by Bob himself, and they use quality whole grains to satisfy vegan, paleo, and gluten-free friendly cooking and baking needs. So there's really something for everyone, which I love. I do have a discount link in the description. Use the code MINDOVERMUNCH20 to get 20% off all Bob's Red Mill products through the end of November. And I'm hoping at least one of these breads can help you out too. Now, one reason I hate baking bread, I don't want to deal with yeast, rising doughs, or bread machines. And today, you are not gonna have to worry. None of these recipes use any of those things. Thumbs up if you like the sound of that. Let's get started with the most basic gluten-free bread. It has just 6 ingredients, the main of which is Bob's Red Mill gluten-free 1-to-1 baking flour, which is primarily made of rice flour and can actually be substituted in any baked good as a 1-to-1 direct replacement. So if you have a favorite holiday recipe that you want to be gluten-free that uses all-purpose or wheat flour, you can easily sub this out for a delicious result. I combine Bob's Red Mill's gluten-free 1-to-1 baking flour with baking powder and salt. Separately, I whip up 3 egg yolks until fluffy, and then add some almond milk, you can use any milk, and coconut oil. Add the dry ingredients to the wet. Then I take the 3 egg whites and beat to medium peaks. So that means that they hold their shape pretty well, but the tip of the peak curls over itself when the beater is lifted away. You'll want to use room temperature eggs here. Then you can gently fold the whites into the batter. Don't overmix. This is what's going to help the bread rise and maintain its lift without any gluten or yeast. Woohoo! Transfer to a loaf pan and bake for about 45 minutes until a toothpick comes out clean. Let it cool completely before slicing. And look at that! This one is very light and fluffy, and it's probably my favorite option for toast. It tastes the most like a regular white bread, and I can't believe it's gluten-free. That 1-to-1 flour is so fine, and it keeps the bread from becoming dense or heavy. You have got to try it out for yourself. Next, we've got an oat and honey bread. It is as delicious as it looks, and we're using my favorite gluten-free organic old-fashioned rolled oats by Bob's Red Mill, of course. Not only are they gluten-free and organic, but the quality and taste are just so much better. Whether you're eating them as hot oatmeal for breakfast or using in baked goods, they are also kosher, vegan, 100% whole grain, and high in fiber. For this bread, I mix together oat flour, which you can buy. Bob's Red Mill makes an oat flour, or even make these using oats. Simply blend the oats in a blender or food processor, let it get really fine, and it's good to go as is. I prefer to sift it for bread and cake recipes. I think it improves the texture of the final product, but for other baked goods, I don't worry about sifting if I make the oat flour myself. To oat flour, I add baking powder, baking soda, and salt. Separately, I add whole rolled oats, plain yogurt, non-dairy if preferred, an egg, coconut oil, and honey until well mixed. Then I add almond milk, you can use any milk, and stir. Add the dry ingredients to the wet and combine, but don't overmix. Transfer to a loaf pan and sprinkle oats on top. Bake again for about 45 minutes until golden brown and a toothpick comes out clean. It's so beautiful. I can't believe there's no yeast. This one is more like a wheat bread in taste and texture and has a touch of sweetness from the honey. It's great as toast, but I also love turning this one into French toast. It's so versatile. Last but not least, a gluten-free and low-carb bread using Bob's Red Mill's almond flour. This is probably the Bob's Red Mill product I use most, second to the oats. I just love it. It is a super finely ground flour, making it perfect for baked goods, but you can also use it as a breadcrumb replacement in meatballs or a protein coating or crust. It's really versatile and of course nutritious since the only ingredient is almonds. For the bread, mix together almond flour, psyllium husk powder, baking powder, and salt. Separately, beat egg yolks until fluffy, then add coconut oil and warm water and mix. Add the dry to the wet and stir to integrate. Similar to the first recipe, we're going to beat those egg whites to medium peaks and incorporate carefully into the batter to add more lift to our bread so it isn't as dense. Into the loaf pan it goes to bake until it turns a beautiful golden brown. For this low-carb loaf, the top should be crusty. Cool completely before slicing. Oh my gosh, I have wanted a low-carb bread to be good for so long, and it took some experimenting, but this one does not disappoint. Honestly, it was my favorite of the three to use as sandwich bread. It holds together well, but it's still soft to bite into. If you're on a low-carb lifestyle or looking for a gluten-free bread that is lower in carbs, you don't have to say no to sandwiches anymore. Thank goodness! I hope you found these 3 gluten-free bread recipes useful and that you can try one or more of them out. If you do, I know Bob's Red Mill products will bring you some success. This company is truly committed and has been for decades to bringing people everywhere the best quality foods available and helping you live a more nutritious life. Thanks to Bob's Red Mill for making this video and these recipes possible, and thanks to all of you for watching and your amazing support. Without all of you, these videos really wouldn't be possible. I'll see you next week for a brand new episode, and remember, especially when it comes to bread, it's all a matter of mind over munch.